So it's been a couple of months now since Vive and Oculus hit the store shelves. Of course, the launch didn't go off exactly without a hitch. There were a lot of problems fulfilling pre-orders, things like that. But it's almost like Oculus is, trying to sabotage their own system. They keep on making poor decisions, and they just got done picking a new fight that they got completely demolished with, at least in this first battle. And I don't think it's a fight that they're going to win. And a lot of people are pissed off, including developers and customers. So to fully understand this situation, to fully understand the outrage, let me give you just a little quote from recent history, and then I'm going to explain what changed and why so many people are pissed off. So 5 months ago, Oculus's VR founder, Palmer Luckey, made this post on Reddit that said, quote, "If customers buy a game from us, I don't care if they mod it to run on whatever they want. As I have said a million times, and counter to the current circle jerk, our goal is not to profit by locking people into only our hardware. If it was, why in the world would we be supporting Gear VR and talking with other headset makers? The software we create through Oculus Studios are exclusive to the Oculus platform, not the Rift itself." And so this was really a response to fans who were afraid that Oculus was going to try to lock people into using only their headset, and they were going to build up, all these walled gardens around the platform. Especially people got worried, whenever Facebook leached onto the project. And so Luckey actually kind of went out of his way and actually went a little bit further in this post and basically laughs off the idea that this would ever take place, and kind of acts like everybody is just overly paranoid, overreacting to all this news. Flash forward to today, you've got Oculus, who has their own storefront, which by all accounts is light years behind Steam and other online stores, but they sell Oculus exclusive games, just like how consoles have their own exclusives. So when people started to learn the details that there were going to be Oculus exclusive games, there was going to be an Oculus store, things like that, people weren't happy, but they didn't completely freak out because this is the PC, and so there's always some mod or hack to work around on the PC. And sure enough, it didn't take long before a developer came up with a workaround so that people who own a Vive instead of an Oculus, they could go to the Oculus game store, they could buy and download those games and use it on their Vive, even though they didn't have an Oculus headset. So everybody's been okay with that setup up until last week, when Oculus pushed out a new DRM update, which forces the system to verify that you have an Oculus Rift plugged into your PC before it'll launch the game, which means Vive and other headset owners are locked out of those games, which means they're really totally exclusive to Oculus. And of course, going back to that quote from just 5 months ago, all this happens only 5 months after Palmer said this idea was preposterous, and kind of labeling anybody who thought that it might happen as some sort of conspiracy theorist and a negative connotation. Now, Oculus claims that this update was to protect their developers and to curb piracy. They said it wasn't intended to target any other headsets or mods. But the update actually did nothing to stop piracy. If you're an Oculus owner, you have an Oculus headset, you could still go pirate Oculus games. It didn't really stop you from doing that. It was just checking to make sure you had your headset. So it was to target headsets or other headset manufacturers, no matter what they say. And of course, we can't really believe anything that they say because they just flat out lied to you 5 months ago. So it was to keep people who don't own an Oculus from playing. So this new Oculus DRM update kind of caused mass hysteria, at least for a couple of days. And now the creator of that original mod that allowed Vive owners to play Oculus game has brought out a new update. But now it looks even worse for Oculus because it makes pirating games even easier. So he's not advocating piracy. This wasn't the point of the update, but in order to play the games, this is what he's had to do. So the original mod that he came out with, it just took Oculus game code and reworked it so it would work on the Vive, because the systems are very similar. Just about everything is almost identical, and this is according to a lot of developers. So all the original protection was left in place. So people were using Vive maybe, but they went to the Oculus store, they purchased those games. Oculus was still getting those sales. But now, in order to bypass that headset check, the developer had to bypass all the protections within the game, which means the game, before launching, doesn't check to actually see if it's a legitimate copy of a game. So now, kind of the piracy floodgates have been blown wide open, and so now it's easier than ever before to pirate these games, which, of course, is the complete opposite effect of what Oculus claims was the point of this. But again, I'm pretty sure they were just lying. And so Oculus is fighting a major uphill battle. They've completely destroyed any trust they had with customers by going completely against everything that they said wouldn't happen. And so they're trying to lock people into using a bad storefront with restrictive DRM, which is also how Microsoft failed at their first go-around at a PC store. And also, Oculus is missing a lot of features that are currently already available on the Vive. Their motion controllers aren't expected out on the market until later this year, so they've got a lot more restrictive policies, less features, and are on record blatantly lying to everybody. So they've got some major decisions to make. Are they going to continue down this road, which has already cost them, stay in a battle where they're already getting destroyed at? Or are they going to pull a 180, go back to the original plan of delivering solid hardware without locking the software in on it? Because if you have a good enough product, people will go buy it. Oculus, of course, has an advantage when it comes to price over the Vive, but of course that is also going to get wiped out once the PlayStation VR hits the market. All in all, I don't think this is the launch that Oculus wanted. If you want to read more about it, as always, links down in the description box. Stay tuned to videogamesandnews.com for the latest headlines, and post below, do you think Facebook being involved is one reason why Oculus went downhill? That does it for me, The Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.